Hello my boys, good morning. I'm proud to present a really strong build. This build here is extremely tanky, it doesn't want to die. As a matter of fact, you will level up very fast to 100 simply because this build does not want to die. The area of effect clears are great, so you can clear the maps very fast, and you also have fun. This is a zero button build, meaning that you don't need to press your skills, you just walk around and everything dies. For those that don't know yet, this is my Fulcrum Chieftain from Affliction League, but I had to do some changes in this league so the build is viable again. So I did those changes, I also lowered the cost drastically. Before we jump into the guide, I need to put some warnings now on the screen. First of all, you cannot league start with this build. Yeah, it's very important. You will transition from something else. Secondly, you need a Chieftain, which is a minimum level 94. Yeah, so I lowered the cost a lot, but you also need minimum level 94, so this build can work. So you transition into this build after you get to level 94 or more. And we also need to talk about the budget. So in order to make this build, you will need around 15 diviners, 40, 15 diviners, depending on the market. All these items here, I did my best to be cheap. The only expensive item is this amulet, which is at the moment 12 divines, 15 divines. This is the only expensive thing, rest are cheap. Yeah, and another thing that I wanted to do for my boys is to do a better trading filter. Yeah, so I made here a shopping list for all the items, so you don't need to put it in the trade website, you just click it and will redirect you to the item. Yeah, and I made these items pretty generic to ensure that even after I make the guide, the price will stay low. Yeah, I think of everything. Good. Now we should jump into the guide, no? Okay, my boys, now let's talk about the items. So in case you don't know how this build works, it's very simple. We're walking around the map, trying to proc up our Hinekora's Dead Fury, and we become a living bomb because of the Fulcrum stuff here. So when we are a living bomb, we just walk around and everything dies, because this stuff here will reflect the ignite that we did with Hinekora onto us. And the moment we have that buff, everything melts around us, triggering even more Hinekoras. So it will trigger a chain reaction and everything will die around us. Yeah, which is pretty nice, pretty sexy. Yeah, good. And also, we have the cast on stun setup. Yeah, this setup will also curse the enemies with flammability, with enfeeble. We also trigger detonate dead, which is very important. So our first explosions will be triggered by cast on stun, detonate dead. Yeah. After we get our first explosion and we trigger Hinekora's Dead Fury, everything will die inside the maps. We will get ignited thanks to the staff and everything dies. So as you can see, the staff is the most important piece because it will reflect the ignites onto us. So this is a core piece of the build, you should start with it. The staff at the moment it's around 1 divine, 2 divines, and I need to repeat that I made a better trading filter here that you can click it, very easy. Yeah. If you don't want it to buy it already 6 link, you can buy it unlinked, no problem, you put it here, no links, and you link it yourself with Orb of Fusings. This stuff in this league, it's very easy. It used to be more than 20 divines in previous leagues. Good. Now let's talk about the amulet, which is very important. So this amulet here will help us with the tankiness. Yeah. If you're gonna buy this amulet, make sure you buy it with a good roll. Yeah, in the guide I put perfect. Actually I put perfect because they nerfed it. So in Settlers of Kalgur League they nerfed this amulet. It used to be even more good. So you'll buy with 20. 20 roll it's mandatory. If you're really poor, fine, you can buy it with 80%. But 20%, the last line, it's important. Yeah. So here when you go to the better trading, you will see that I put it. Also remember to anoint it, it's important. Speaking of anoints, we're also using these gloves. Yeah, Bread Stealer. These are gloves from Blight that can have anoints, and here we will put the Circle of Life, so we give even more damage taken as life. Yeah, this is essential for the build, so you need to take it. Now the good stuff is that these gloves are very cheap, and they also give you some elemental resistances, and the last line, which is pretty fun actually, it will create blighted spores that give mini auras when you kill rare enemies. And because of this build here, we want to do juiced content, like really juiced, like breaches, harbingers, delirium plus abyss, something like that. So you will get a lot of value out of these gloves, and they're also fun to see all those auras around you. Yeah, but we use these gloves mostly for the anoint, so we can put Circle of Life, which is essential for this build. Now here, they did some changes in Settlers of Kalgur League. We can no longer get easy conversion. That's why we are forced into taking this belt here. Yeah, for the last line, nearby enemies convert their physical damage into fire. So we need to do some physical conversion which we have 40 from the chest, yeah. We also have 25 from this belt, yeah. And we're also gonna use a special implicit here from the influence. You see 7% of physical damage from hits taken as fire. I'll put a crafting guide in this video. You know how to craft your helmet yourself, because you don't want to overpay, you want to craft it cheap. You know, we like to craft cheap things, so we're gonna craft it ourselves. There will be a timestamp in this video. Now the boots are sexy and good because you can apply an additional curse. So overpowered, make sure you buy with maximum endurance charges corruption, because they reward how endurance charges work, and they're actually pretty OP in this league, then they will help us a lot. So the more we have, the better. Make sure to have with this corruption, you will have it in the better trading filter. Here we want this beauty. Stun threshold is based on energy shield instead of life. This used to be a mastery, but they removed it because it was too overpowered. This has synergy with these jewels here, which is immutable force. So when we get stunned, we recover very fast. It's important. And this one, blood notch. Make sure you have close to perfect rolls. So we get stunned a lot, we want to heal a lot. That's the idea. So buy one close to perfect rolls. We want to be immortal in our maps. That's the whole idea. And here, of course, they reward the Vendor's Gamble. Now we have this last line, increase mana reservation efficiency of skills, meaning that we can get mana reservation on a ring. This is pretty intense. I made a whole video about this, explaining why this ring is so good. Also, all these resistances help us. We want to have a resistance overcap, meaning more than enough. We're gonna click Ether of all altars. We want to take all the altars in the map. Without shredding our resistances. So the more resistances you have, the better. Don't stop at 90%. Go take more. It's essential. Good. Also, they give you some rarity, you know, good stuff. Now, let me think. When we're gonna talk about the skill tree, I'll explain the jewels also. And here are some jewels. I'll explain them there. I need to explain the flask. For the flask, I like this beauty here. Recover an additional 40% of life. This is basically a buff that persists. Let me show you if I can showcase it. Look, this one, it lasts 10 seconds and will give you extra life regen. Man, I love this flask. But we have immunity to corrupted blood from the mastery here. You see, corrupted blood cannot be inflicted upon you. And for normal bleeding, we have this beauty here, steel skin. Buff grants immunity to bleeding, so we don't have to worry about bleeding. So you take a Divine Life Flask with these modifiers. It's pretty good, pretty sexy, you know what I mean? Here we have 4 utility flasks. The idea is that you want to buy a quartz flask, a granite flask, a quicksilver flask so we move faster, and a silver flask. This also helps you to move faster. If you notice, all these flasks have increased duration. Increased duration. I didn't put that shit with free charges when you get hit, simply because this build destroys everything in the map. So you barely get hit actually, because it smashes everything in a large area of effect. So increased duration, it's much more better. I did my test, I know what I'm saying. And here you want to put the immunities that were lacking. Because this is a budget version, you know, we don't want to pay a lot. So I made it very easy, very nice. Here you want immunity to freeze and chill during effect. Here you want immunity to poison. And here you want immunity to shock. I need to remind you that these explicit modifiers for the flask, they can be moved around. So for example, you can have the immunity to shock on a granite flask, or you can have the immunity to poison on this one, on a quartz flask. Doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, here in the better trading filter, I added all the flasks, and I put this list here. So it will show you with different effects. Here, immunity to shock, to freeze. Idea is that you want to have all this free on your explicits, doesn't matter which flask. And here it's another one, 50% of the damage taken, it's leech as life during effect. Man, this is so good, so nice. If you cannot find it from the trade website, ask a friend. Boys, can you help me with this enchant here? And if he refuses, or you don't have friends, then go on TFT Discord and go there and buy from someone, you know. We need to improvise. Or go on the trade channel and beg someone. Someone will help you eventually. Good. Now we should talk about the skill gems. Okay, my boys, now let's talk about the skill gems. Let's start with the most important. You want to have a detonate dead, you know, normal skill gem, you don't need to worry. But just make sure it's 2120. Let me check the price. 10 kills, 20 kills. This is nothing. This is nothing. For the amount of money that we will make with this build, it's nothing. Now let's talk about the support gems. You want life tap. You want awakened burning damage. You want awakened deadly ailments. You want awakened unbound elements. Let me check something here. The price is decent. It's decent. It's decent. Nothing ultra expensive. Good. You want the cast when stunned support gem, make sure that it's a high level and with quality. So for the main setup you always want to apply quality, especially on cast when stunned, because this will give you more chance to trigger the supported spells. So it is essential to apply quality. Yeah. Good, so this is the main skill setup. Now let's talk about the Fulcrum here, which is another sexy setup. This basically starts like this. You buy cast when stunned support, make sure that it's 20-20 or 21-20, so we have the more chance to trigger, you know, it's very important. And we will cast Enfeeble curse, and we will cast Flammability. This is because of the boots here, we can plus 2 curses. I will also provide a regex filter for your maps, so we can do the monsters that will not be hexproof. So we can apply these 2 curses. This is essential, especially Flammability here, because it gives us 25% chance to ignite. This means that we can cut down on these expensive tattoos. These are very expensive tattoos that will rise in price after this guide, and I wanted to make this build cheap. That's why we will use Flammability. So this will give us more damage and will help us to reach 100% ignite very cheap. Good. Now we want to put life tap because we're using life. You want Steel Skin and you want Desecrate. Basically it works like this. When we get stunned, we summon Desecrate and then we detonate those Desecrates and we start a chain reaction. You go towards normal enemies and magic enemies, you detonate them, and then you will proc Hinekora's Dead Fury and everything will be melted inside the map. No, very sexy, very nice. Now let's talk a little about the aura setup. Here we want to put Arctic Armor, because we will stay a lot. You know, when you're lazy you want to stay. You stay all day on the sofa, you know. And here buff grants 22 less physical damage taken from hits and less fire damage taken from hits. Man, this is so good. So it's mandatory to have Arctic Armor. Then you want to use Purity of Fire. Make sure it's level 21. Yeah, 21 because we want to reach 90% all resistances here. It's important. Even more if it's possible, because some modifiers will shred your maximum resistances. Petrified Blood, make sure it's 21-20, or if you're poor 20-20, it's fine. 21-20, 20-20. And here you buy an Empower, which is level 3. You don't need to pay too much for level 4. Let's check the price. Nothing. 50 kills, 20 kills, this is nothing. This is the setup for the helmet. Now let's talk about the gloves. Here we have another 2 auras. You want Vitality Aura, but make sure it's level 1. Yeah, you're using Vitality here just to trigger the Watcher's Eyes, which we will talk in a second. So here we have a Watcher Eye. Or somewhere around here we have a Watcher's Eye. There's somewhere around here. I think here. Where is the Watcher Eye? Here is the Watcher Eye. We will talk about it because it's good, so nice. Here we also have Herald of Ash. Make sure it's high level and with quality. Yeah, 21-20, or if you're poor 20-20. This is the idea. Here we also have this portal cast when dead. Some of you will start laughing because I'll put it like this. This build does not die. But when it happens, you don't want to walk a lot, you know. If you really don't want this setup, you can remove it, because I can guarantee you this build rarely dies, you know. But I put this setup on over all my builds because there are a lot of sucky boys that play Path of Exile and they mess it up, you know. They mess it up hard and they die for some reason, and I want to have here cast on that portal. If you're a pro player and you know what you're doing, you can remove this setup. I can guarantee you that you will be fine. Here we have Flame Dash, because we need a movement skill sometimes, you know. I know this is a walking simulator, but maybe you want to move, you know, faster. That's why you can use Flame Dash or any other movement skill of your choice, but I prefer Flame Dash here in this scenario. And Life Tap because it needs to cost life instead of mana. Good. So this was our gem setup. Now let's talk about the skill tree. Okay, my boys, now let's try to explain the skill tree here. Yeah, you remember that you have the POB in the description of the video or in the guild Discord server. Let's start with the masteries first. Here you want Corrupted Blood immunity. We take it here. Let me check. Here you have 20% reduced extra damage from critical strikes. Here again 30% reduced extra damage from critical strikes. Here you want this one, exposure you inflict applies at least 18%. Here you want increased maximum life if there's no life on your body armor. Here you want aura from your skills increased effect on you. Good. Here you want regenerate 1 life for each uncapped fire resistance. This will give you a lot of extra life regen per second. Here you want life recoup instead occurs over 3 seconds. So the default one is 4 seconds, now it's 3 seconds. We regenerate life faster, this is the idea. And here you want to better the fire exposure with extra -5 fire resistance. Now let's talk about the jewels. Here we have a Watcher's Eyes with vitality modifiers. In the better trading filter I put it very sexy, very nice, let me see. So you have at least 2 vitality modes. Most of them are useful, but I made it in a way that you will find cheap Watcher's Eyes, you know, at least 2 useful modifiers. You will see them a lot around 1 Diviner. You are using a level 1 Vitality Aura here. You don't level it up more because you'll have mana problems. You leave it like this, you know, just to enable the Watcher's Eyes modifiers, and you'll put it here. Doesn't matter where you put the Watcher's Eyes, but you need to have one. This is the idea. Now let's talk about this one. It's Immutable Force, so we recover after we get stunned. It's essential. Here we have Blood Notch, so when we get stunned we recover our life back. Good. Here we have the Light of Meaning with the Chaos Resistance. This will give us a lot of Chaos Resistance for free. The good thing is that this jewel lowered in price. Now it's around 5 Diviners, which is so good, so nice. Yeah, this will give you a lot of extra Chaos Resistance. I like to call it for free because it's very easy to get it, you know, on all these nodes. Yeah, so we're gonna put it here. We want to be immortal. This is the idea of this build. And here we have a rare jewel, which maximum fire resistance +2 and increase maximum life. The other modifiers are up to you. Usually you want something that give you some benefits like resistances, more damage, you understand? And here we have another rare jewel. You put it here. Again, maximum fire resistance and increase maximum life. The other modifiers are up to you. Either you go for defenses or offenses. Now we have 2 cluster jewels here. Let's talk about this one, which is essential. We want one with Fan the Flames and Student of Decay. These 2 are great in my opinion. This is the... It should be cheap, even like this. Let me check. Also, I made that better trading that can change under 1 Diviner. Pretty nice. And here we want this one to guarantee exposure. Heraldry. Because we have Herald of Ash, we will apply fire exposure. Yeah, so good, so nice. This is a very cheap cluster jewel, and you also have it on the better trading filter. And now we need to talk about the big boy here, because a lot of people don't know how to buy one properly. So you want an elegant Hubris commemorated in the name of Caspiro. It's essential. This will give you access to Supreme Ostentation, meaning that you can equip your gear and skill gems without investing into stats. You see, I have low attributes, but I still can equip all my items. This is because of this keystone here. See, without it, I need to have a lot of intelligence, dexterity, and strength. Yeah, so this is essential. And also, when you buy this timeless jewel, make sure that you have here or here this mode. Gain 1 endurance charge every second if you have been hit recently. Yeah, it's important because we need to have endurance charges, so we become more of a tanky boy. You understand? I'll put here a timestamp on how to craft your rares, how to color your rares, and also how to get a timeless jewel in case you're a really bad player. You know, you're a sucky boy that just came to Path of Exile. Okay, my boys, now let's talk a little about the tattoos. We need to reach 100% ignite chance. It is mandatory for this build. We're getting 60% ignite chance from the tree. So 15 here, 15 here, 30%. Here 20, this is 50%. 10 here, 60%. From the flammability curse that we trigger inside our maps, it's 25%, so this is 85%. And we need to use this tattoo here, which is the tattoo of the Niamahu Warmonger. So we have 100% chance to ignite. We will use 3 of these tattoos, and you place them somewhere in the skill tree. I have mine here. So it's 90% chance to ignite, 95, 100%, which is essential. Also, because we want to be immune to critical strikes, we need to use this beauty here, which is a tattoo of the Rongorai turtle. And I'm gonna place it somewhere. So from the skill tree we have 80% reduce extra damage from critical strikes. We need to reach 100%. So you put 1 turtle tattoo here, 1 turtle tattoo here, so it's 90%, 95, 100%. So now we're immune to critical strike, which is big. So these 2 tattoos are essential. Now for the blue tattoos, you want to put this one, which gives you more chaos resistance. So you see I put it here on the blue ones, more chaos resistance, so good, so nice. Idea is you want to have a lot of chaos resistance. If you can cap it, it's even better. Let me show you something. And for the rest of the strength tattoos, you can put this one, which is very cheap, you know, tattoo of the Niamahu Warrior. This will give you 5% increased fire damage. So good, so nice, you understand, you do more damage. Yeah, now let's move on. Okay, my boys, now let's talk about the Ascendancy, Pantheon, and Bandits. Yeah, good stuff. So here we need to have Chieftain. Make sure that you fully unlocked all the labs before you make this build. This will help you with the resistances. Yeah, so this will make us to raise our resistance cap to 90% and also give us free cold and lightning resistance. These are great Ascendancy, man. Good Ascendancy. Then you want to take Hinekora's Dead Fury. So we have those sweet explosions that have synergy with our Fulcrum stuff. And lastly, you want to take this beauty here, so monster take more damage. Yeah, make sure before you transition into this build that you have unlocked all the lab trials. It's essential for this build. Yeah, and here it's a small parenthesis. When they released the reward Chieftain, I said it. I made 3 videos explaining that Hinekora's Dead Fury is busted and we don't know yet the radius. Everyone made fun of me because some big YouTubers made videos explaining this is trash. I was the only one that explained that this is overpowered as fuck and people should shut up because this is overpowered. And apparently that I was right. And I got a lot of hate for this, for what I said that Hinekora's Dead Fury is overpowered. Oh, good times, good times. Now let's talk about the Pantheon here. You want to go with Soul of Lunaris and make sure you apply a Divine Vessel to unlock all the effects. Yeah, and for the minor Pantheon, I recommend going for Soul of Gruthul. I don't know how to pronounce this shit. For this one, additional physical damage reduction, or pick whatever else you want. Yeah, because even this one is good. Soul of Shafkari, if you apply the Divine Vessels, you will take reduced chaos damage taken, which is good. Also reduce chaos damage over time while on chaotic ground. This is also great to take if you want. And this one is also nice. Now let's talk about the Bandits kill all. For the Bandits we want an extra skill point. It's very sexy, very nice. You kill all the Bandits, you get 1 extra skill point. Good times. Okay my boys, now let's see how we can color the body armor. Both for corrupted version and uncorrupted version. Very easy, very nice. Because a lot of sucky boys, they don't know and they overpay on the trade website when it actually is very cheap. Yeah? Then we will craft this helmet here, very easy, very nice. You don't need to overpay on the trade website. So enough talking my boys, we go here to the crafting bench. And this is for the uncorrupted version. You go here, you put it. So we need 2 blue, 2 green, 2 red. And you put here red. So this body armor is inclined of getting a lot of blue sockets. What you need to put here, you put at least 1 red socket or at least 1 green socket and you click it until you get it. That's basically the cheapest way that you can achieve this. You click it and you will get 2 red, 2 green and 2 blue. So this is the cheapest way that you can do it. Look, I got it. I got it. Yeah, so now you know, you don't need to buy the exact colors from the trade website because that is a scam. But let's assume that you have here a Cloak of Flames which is corrupted. Now, of course, you won't do this method with the bench. For the corrupted items, you will apply Tinted Chromatic Orbs. Now you go here, you have this beauty. And you click it until you get 2 red, 2 green and 2 blue. Yeah, you will get it. This is the best way to do it for corrupted items. Look, I got it. Yeah, so you need to apply Tinted Chromatic Orbs. This is the idea. Okay, my boys, now let's try to craft this helmet. Here I got it very easy using the beta trading filter. So you put here helmet rare. You want an armor-based helmet with chaos resistance. It's very important to be armor-based because if you have a lot of evasion, you will evade attacks, which you don't want. Yeah. After you get your helmet, you make it rare, and you spam Essence of Loathing. Let me make it rare first. Now it's rare. We go to Essences, and you have here Deafening Essence of Loathing. You will hit it until you have a good life roll. Yeah. This is the idea. We want to get a good life roll, and we're happy then. This is a very easy craft, man. You see, you get life, but you want more life. Actually, maybe if it's possible, some resistances. Good. Look, this is a great helmet. We have maximum life, which is actually tier 1. We have life regeneration rate as a bonus. This is great for our build here. And we have perfect increased mana reservation efficiency. Now, what you can do here, you can go and craft something useful. Usually I put this one because it gives you 10% increased area of effect, but it's up to you. Maybe you want to put something else. Make sure it's 10%, so this gives me 10% area of effect, which is great. And for the last modifier, I always say to put an Exalted Orb. So we have, we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6. Here you need to put Grand Eldritch Ichors and Embers here until you have this modifier. So you want to have physical damage taken from hits as fire, and fire damage recouped as life. Yeah. Taken as lightning damage. We can take even with other elements, but I prefer fire damage for a good reason. Because when we click a lot of altars, they can shred our resistances if we take too much. So I prefer the one which has physical damage taken as fire. Look, I got it. So this was for Eater of Walls, so now we need to put Embers. And here we want to hit this one, fire damage, recoup us life. Good, good. Yeah, and you can stop here. Some players like to put the Orb of Conflict in order to get better rolls, you know, that's optional. You just put greater because you don't want to pay a lot. After you got your armor, make sure to apply some quality on all your gears. They will give you significantly more armor, which is great. Then you want to socket it and link it. Like this, put socket. You link and we have one green. Good. One green, 3 red. Good here. Until we have the green one. No, we need one green, 3 red. Good. You know, this is actually an upgrade. It's funny. It's upgrade for my build here. Because I have the increased life regeneration rate. Yeah, this is better. Look, I didn't have it on this one. You know? What do you know? I made an upgrade. Go to the Crazy Chieftain, we put it here. So good, so nice. Now let's talk about Timeless Jewel, but because I'm assuming some of you are sucky boys and don't know how to buy a proper Timeless Jewel. No problem, I got you covered. You go here on my channel and you click here this link and we have somewhere Timeless Jewel calculator. You click on it and you go to site. Very easy, very nice. After this sheet loads, you click in this area. You make sure you put the Elegant Hubris jewel type, you put the Conqueror Caspiro, is very important. Then you want to select stats. You put here Endurance Charge. You put Gain Endurance Charge when you get hit. Good. Then you deselect everything and you select just these 2 points here. And you put here minimum 1 and you click search. So good, so nice. So here if you want to get a good price, because usually sucky boys, they start the search with the first ones. No, you scroll down randomly somewhere and you try the trade website. And you see what you get. Already, 1 divine is fine for this build. You will find plenty of them on the market. Yeah. And you just look, some of them will be even in Chaos Orb. You don't need to pay 1 divine orb. Some of them will be very, very cheap, you know. You know what I'm saying? 1 divine. And here if you're a good nerd, you can do something even crazier. You look for the other modifiers. Here, if you get something useful, and when you reach level 100, you can invest an extra point into this. Yeah. There are multiple extra benefits that you can get on these Timeless Jewels. Yeah. So now you know how to get your Timeless Jewel, which is so good, so nice. Now let's talk a little about the upgrades that you can do. Maybe you want to push this build further. As you notice, I have this corruption here, +1 leg velocity gems. It is not mandatory. No? This will help you slightly, a little, not much, with the initial explodes. When you enter a map, you will explode the first normal enemies faster. That's it about it. Then you want to take, maybe, if you want to upgrade the build later, cannot be poisoned. Here it's a corruption for the volume ring. Yeah, and this means that you can drop the immunity to poison on the flask and you can take another effect. Maybe you want to take this effect here, rarity of items found during effect. So if you have this corruption here, maybe you will put the rarity effect from the flask, you know? It's up to you. Another thing that you can do, you can buy corruptions from the Calms belt here. Something useful like movement speed during effect, increased rarity of items found during effect, you understand what I'm saying. Also make sure to put catalysts so you can bump up the defense. Let's see here. So we have 465 armor, we can get more. So why not? Plus these catalysts are cheap. Which one my defense catalyst I need? I forgot. This one. You look at the armor. It goes up. You know what they say, the more the better? Make sure, now I need to remind you that it's important to anoint your gloves and your amulet, because I've seen a lot of guys that they don't anoint. Also for the body armor, if you have a good fire resistance roll, it's better, because this will give you overcap resistances. And increased ignite duration on enemies is also fine. Yeah, maybe for the boots here, you will buy with double corruptions, because they are pretty cheap at the moment. Now you see I have here regenerate life while I'm moving. It helps, why not? My boys, before I close the video, I want to show you how to play this build properly. I also want to talk about here VAAL Bridge, which is not mandatory for the build, but it can help with map bosses. So this build here, it's designed to farm a lot of monster packs. So it's great for doing Harbingers, Bridge, Abyss, Delirium, stuff like that, where you have a lot of monsters crowded in one place because it will explode the whole screen. It can also do the map bosses for certain maps. For example, in Jungle Valley, the last boss has spiders around him, so you can kill him. You can also do City Square, for example. You get ignited with a big boom, and then you rush towards the bosses in the middle and everything will explode. But let's say you want to try other maps. For example, in Fulcrum Chieftain, you can use here VAAL Breach, yeah, and this will spawn extra monsters that you can explode to get that big ignite on you, and then you can kill the map boss. So what you can do here, you can buy later a VAAL Breach and put it here for the cast on death setup, yeah, and you will have access to the VAAL Breach now. You need to get souls in order to use it. So I'll do a map right now so you can see it. Now for this build here, I will provide the regex, because there are some modifiers that will break our build. It's no problem. With the regex, everything will be fine and dandy. So let's juice now on the spot some maps. I like to juice them like this. I have the regex here. Let's juice it. Now, if it's highlighted, means that it's good. You can even apply some VAAL orbs, so you get more quantity, you know, 8 modifiers maps. You see? Very easy, very nice. Even this one with less recovery rate. This build can do it. Okay, let me take some scarabs fast for the showcase. I'll take Harbingers here. We put also Harbinger on the map device. Good. So how you play this build? Once you enter the map, you find some normal monsters or magic monsters in order to detonate them. And that will start a chain reaction. You just stay in a corner and eventually they will explode. Okay, and now everything dies around me. So I have the ignite, I'm ignited, and everything dies in a big radius. That's basically how we play it. This is a walking simulator, you just walk in the map. Good. You see, they get one-shotted. Very simple, man, I love this build. Okay, let's do this syndicate. They will die very fast. Look, they died. Man, the damage is insane. Look, I want to do the map boss. I want to show you the... So if you can, you do Jungle Valleys. Also, this is a great map for farming Divination Cards. Yeah, so you can scry them on Jungle Valley and you run them here. Because this map does not spawn boss altars. So you get a lot of quantity altars, meaning that you can drop Divination Cards much more easier on this map. It's my favorite map. I talked about it multiple times. Look, man, look at the clear, man. It's so good, so nice.
I cannot do this yet.
So you can do mega juiced content, and look at the tankiness. I'm not even... Look at my life here. From time to time you will place the life flask because you get this buff here. Additional life recovery. You know, it's good. You just collect and take the loot. I suggest going with Harbingers if you want to power level. So Harbingers give a lot of experience. So the moment I'm trying to reach level 100, so I'll just farm Harbingers until I reach level 100. You look at this clear, man. So good, so nice. Okay, let's do here this one, the Abyss. Look, everything dies. You gotta love this build, man. And again, we paid under 15 diviners, so the budget is tight. You know, good. You just stay AFK, you can watch YouTube if you want, and you leave the build do its job. Then you collect the loot and you move on. Now I want to do the map boss. Okay, let's do this, then we go to the map boss. I want to show you VAAL Breach, which I have charges now. Yeah. On this particular map you don't need to buy VAAL Breach because the boss spawns a lot of spiders. I'll show you. Let's go. So you look, I won't use VAAL Breach. I just stay here and you will see that a lot of spiders will appear and I can detonate these spiders in order to kill the boss. So what I'm doing here, I'm just sitting here in a corner and waiting for the boss to appear. So Jungle Valley, in my opinion, it's ideal because you can also kill the map boss. Look, here is a spider, let's see. Until I get a big explosion. So when I get a big explosion, the boss will die very fast. Or I can use VAAL Breach. Look, I got a big explosion, the boss dies fast. Good. VAAL Breach works like this. It will summon a breach that will summon extra monsters that I can detonate And this will trigger Hinekorak's explosion and I can kill the final boss. This will help you with single target. But again, this is optional. I just wanted to mention for the video. My boys, I talked about everything here. I will put the POEGuy in the description of the video. If you have questions, you can write in the comments or you can join my shitty ass Discord server because we're gonna talk one-to-one, you know, amigo to amigo there if you want. Enjoy the rest of the day and good luck.